Hey, welcome to the channel. My name's Ben. I'm a meditation and spiritual teacher. And in today's video, I'm going to be breaking down and explaining why your breath disappears during meditation. And if it doesn't disappear completely, why it just drops down to a rate where it feels like you're barely breathing enough to sustain your body. If you've not experienced this before, it's something that may well happen as you go further with your practice, as you deepen with it. So it's important that you understand what to do when this does occur. If you're wondering how I may have come to this understanding, probably thinking, how the hell do you know? I've been practicing meditation myself since I was 6 years old. So my dad was a teacher and I've been under the guidance of a master. I now teach hundreds of people all around the world. And if you personally are looking for more guidance and help with your practice and you want to learn more techniques, you're welcome to check out my school. There's a link in the description below. But why does your breath start to feel as though it's disappearing? A normal human being during the day, roughly speaking, tends to breathe around 15 to 21 times per minute. Roughly, it will vary, but roughly speaking, 15 to 20 breaths per minute. Now, what you'll find is you'll start to meditate, and naturally, you're not moving the body, depending on the method that you're doing. In most cases, you're not moving the body. You're allowing the breathing to become more natural. And if you've been taught well by someone that knows what they're doing, they will teach you how to breathe properly. And understanding how to breathe properly will also allow the body to settle, and it will reduce the heart rate, and it will start to slow every part of the body down, including the metabolic rate. So you will slow right down as a human being, not only physically, but of course your mind and your thoughts will begin to slow right down. So everything starts to reduce, and the rate at which it reduces to will of course as well vary from person to person and according to the state that you're reaching. But some people may find that their breath reduces to somewhere between sort of 3 to 6 breaths per minute. Again, this varies depending on the state which you're reaching. The shift happens quite quickly. So this shift from here, you may find that you naturally drop down to say 10 beats per minute, and you would normally stay at that level when you're in meditation. But this shift from here to here happens quite quickly. And you'll be sitting down, you'll feel quite relaxed, you'll feel quite stable, and all of a sudden, it won't be like a jerky type of shift. It will be a very subtle shift, but it will happen quite quickly. And you'll suddenly notice, I'm not really breathing. I'm barely breathing. And it might be that the breath is also very, very shallow, just a slight in and out. So why does this happen? Well, within the human body, there are 7 energy centers, which are known as chakras. Now, these energy channels are, and I've spoken about these in other videos because they're very relevant to a lot of experiences that a person may have in meditation, but ultimately these are associated with our level of consciousness. So in ascending order, the consciousness of each one, or rather the vibration of each one, increases. So when we start to meditate, whether we're aware of it or not, we're starting to work on the chakras. And the reason for this is that moving between them are energy channels known as nadis. Now, there are 3 main nadis, and again, I speak about these a lot because they're relevant to a lot of experiences. These 2 nadis are known as Ida and Pingala, and these are connected, hilariously, to the nose. So typically throughout the day, we're only ever breathing and using or favoring one of these energy channels at any one time. During the day, we're breathing through the nose. And within the air, of course, it's not just the components that science is aware of. Primarily, spiritually speaking, we're bringing in prana, or as the Chinese would call it, qi, and as the Japanese would call it, ki. These are the same energy, one energy, and that subtle energy moves through various energy channels throughout the body. There are actually 72,000 different energy channels all around the body, but the 2 primary ones are called Ida, Pingala, and they're connected to the nostrils. And then there's a central channel, and this one's called Sushumna. So during the day, we're favoring either the left or right nostril. What will eventually happen when the time's correct is that these two energy channels will both come into balance. They'll both open up and both be utilized and come into harmony. When that happens, this starts to then eventually create enough pressure that it opens up sushumna, which is this central channel. Not spell that right. Sushumna. It opens up that central channel. When that happens, what's really happening then is that the energy in the whole body is being increased. Everything in the entire universe is made up of energy. Although this body feels physical or looks physical, this piece of paper does, this chair, this table, it's all actually pure energy. The body understands what's going on. The body understands that we're starting to shift in our consciousness and it's not needed now. Because the body is, just like a car is, the body is a vehicle. It's no more than a vehicle. It's an amazing, incredible vehicle, but it is a vehicle for us to experience human life. And once it understands that we're going through this process where the human body is not now needed so much, it starts to slow right down. Prana is amplified throughout the energy channels, and this allows the whole system to drop. So this means then that we're starting to move from the gross level into more subtle levels. Everything is the divine, but we're experiencing, ourselves now as a human being, and our consciousness is associated with this. But what's really happening when you start to meditate is that our consciousness starts to broaden, starts to go beyond this physical body, and the body realizes that. It slows right down, and our breath is not needed so much. We don't need to be taking really big, deep breaths at this point, and the body knows that. You won't consciously make this shift. The body just will start to slow down in the same way that when you fall asleep at night, the breath slows down to some degree. When you go into deep meditation, the breath will drop down even further because the physical requirement has become even less, and the energetic movement throughout the body, the amplification of energy, has massively increased. And prana is known as the life force energy, so it's there to sustain us as we go into deeper meditation. It also helps in opening these energy centers, these chakras, which are then experienced by us as our consciousness expanding. So it all links together. Now you might be wondering, is this a good thing? Is it a negative? Of course, you can probably see it's a very positive thing. If your breath drops right down and you've not consciously done it and everything feels nice and comfortable, that is a brilliant, brilliant sign. This is roughly speaking why it happens. And if you do experience that, just go with it. It's a great thing. As I said at the start, if you need any more help understanding meditation a bit more, going deeper, learning new methods and being part of an amazing community, there's a link in the description. Failing that, I'll see you on the next video. Thanks a lot.